Mm, hold up. What's going on with the camera? I feel like a bad book mother. You want to know why I feel like a bad book mother? Because I haven't touched a bunch of my books in a while. And I was touching other people's books today. Some of the books we have are very similar. But yeah, I touched somebody else's books today. I don't even be touching my own books. They're everywhere. They're almost in every room. They were at one point in every room in the house. Working on organizing, but I haven't been able to organize people. Spring has sprung and has me sprung, and I don't really like. I got the memo of the fact that we entered into a new moon and eclipse season, and I was like, woohoo, yeah! I went out in nature and I put out, my manifestations that I grounded, and I had such an amazing time in nature. Was that Sunday? Was that Saturday? It was Sunday. Sunday, like it was an amazing time. It was an amazing, amazing, amazing time. And then Monday came along, and I went into my space and I wanted to do work, but then, like, my spirit was like, you need help. But my spirit wasn't just like, you need help. My spirit's like, you need specific help and you got to ask for it. And I was like, yep, I'm going to ask for it. I'm going to ask for this help tomorrow, because I didn't think that the person that I want to ask for help, I was going to even see Monday. And then I did. But then I didn't ask for help. And then I see the person again today. And then I didn't ask for help. And I had opportunities to, and I didn't. And it's because I got an attitude today. But I feel like the person got an attitude too. Like initially, it was weird. 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 I didn't even know all this stuff was happening. A lot of stuff is going on. And anyway, um, I made a decision today to call an old friend, and this is a friend I haven't seen for 5 years, since 2020. But they always say the same thing. They're like, no matter how much time passes, we always find our way back. And I'm just like, I couldn't go further into the conversation because I was traveling, number one. Um, but they do have a genuine heart. They do have amazing soul. And they are a phenomenal person, Um, I believe, I mean, from what I've seen, from the time that I've been friends with this individual, even though I don't interact with them as much, um, we've had some pretty, some pretty solid interactions, We we started out, interestingly enough, as colleagues. Back in, what year was that? 2017. And interesting enough, I was a student at that time. Um, but yeah, I was part of the public safety, ooh, of men's shelter, and he was one of the staff supervisors at the men's shelter. And it was one of those things that, like, I seen them, he seen me, I was like, don't come over here, don't come over here, don't come over here. That's what I was saying in my head. But he still walked over there to me. He was like, hi, you must be new. And I was like, mean girl, not mean girl, but my tough girl thing was on. And I was like, yes, I am. Like, whatever. And that's how the interaction was. I had my post. He would come say hello. I'd be like, hello, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. 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 I kind of know, like, I never got in trouble, by the way. My company that I worked for stayed there till the contract was done, and then that was, it. But we had already solidified our friendship, and what I had happened was one of his colleagues said something smart to me, and I didn't retaliate. I just walked off my post. I walked off my post and sat in the break room to calm myself down. And like 2 minutes after I walked in there, he was right behind me, like, "You okay?" And I was like, your colleague said da 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 da. And they was like, "Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of it. They ain't gonna bother you no more." And he was a man of his word. That person never bothered me anymore. Um, and next thing I know, we were taking lunches together, like eating our lunch together. We were traveling back and forth together to work because we both lived in Brooklyn at the time in that job site. Ah. Was the job site was in the Bronx? Yeah, the jobs. No, it wasn't. It was in Harlem. I was in Harlem, by Presbyterian Hospital, 179th Street on the A train to be precise. I believe it was 79. But yeah, it was way out. Friendship grew, and he shared some things with me. He had made some choices when he was younger, and he had to defend himself, and him defending himself ended up with him going away for some time, um, over 20 years to be precise. And I was just like shocked. It's like, oh my God, that's a long time. And then to come and like, you a supervisor? How you get to be a supervisor? But apparently he got connections. That's how he ended up being a supervisor. I put the two and two together, but I was just impressed. Like, some people don't bounce like that from those type of situations. It takes them a while. It takes them a while, but he went through all of the motions, all of those motions he went through, and went from a supervisory position to a government position within the span of what, 7 years. Within the span of 7 years, and maybe 8 years at this point because we in 2025. Uh, very family oriented and things of that sort. He has a very good close friend that he's been friends with since he was in middle school. He introduced me to that friend back in 2020, and here I go recently, like a few months ago, called attitude. Talking stuff. Here I am defending. I'm defending your friend. Like, oh, this you gonna play your friend? Who you? Like, oh, you ain't the person I thought you was. If you gonna play your friend, man, oh man, I'll be checking. Call myself checking folks. But I know he told what he told me. He told me that his friend was going into the hospital, for procedure. Then he told me that his old mistress, passed away, and then he told me he was coming to the mistress' funeral. And I was like, wait a minute, what about your friend? And he was like, oh, I couldn't make it to that. I remember him specifically telling me that. But of course, today he was like, "Nah, I didn't say that. I did both. I went there. I did this. I seen him. You know." My thing is, if that was really the case, and it really don't matter, because here's the truth of the matter. If I hadn't caught an attitude today, I probably wouldn't even made the call. But I caught an attitude today because I felt I felt the way, and I felt the way because the the individual that sort of like, you know, I want to know whether they sort of like me. And I feel like they sort of do. Then sometimes I feel like, nah, they don't like you, girl. Like, why would they like you? Like, even though I'm an amazing person, I have amazing heart, I have amazing soul, and different, um, there's so many different similarities we have when it comes to certain things. They just are, um, at a I don't know what point they are, at, but it would appear as if they are at a different plateau, at least on the mainstream of things, and mm, I don't know, you know, I have, I would have to be very honest. I have to deal with my shadow parts right now. So from very young, I have um, never ever. I don't think I've ever. The old friend I'm telling you about is 20. I want to say 24. I'm pretty sure it's 24. 24 years. But maybe it's just 20. It's just 20. It's just 20. It's not 24. He was born in 63. He's 20 years older than me. My first husband was 24 years older than me. Um, I've never dated outside of my very first year in high school, and even my first year in high school, I was dating older um, guys, and so I've never dated a guy my age. Um, it just hasn't happened, you know. And I tried to, which I got like in my early 40s. I'm still in my early 40s. I tried to, but the conversations, it's like, mm, it's different. It's different. I don't know if it's because I have an old soul. I don't know, but that's my thing. Like every people who know me like my family. I joke and I be like, I like seasoning, because it's just a different vibration. I don't know what it is. But I don't know. That's how my day went today. And I just finished eating some spaghetti in bed, my guilty pleasure. I put my towel down so that I wouldn't spill anything on my lovely white sheets. You can't even see. They glitter. Some of them glitter. Where's the glitter part? Here goes the glitter. Do y'all see the glitter? But yeah, that was me today. And I don't know, it's just a lot. It's a lot. Like I joke about it. I'm like, oh, this person is not renting space in my head. This person is has a whole city. They have constructed a whole city that has a mayor and a governing body and everything. What happened? Hold up. How'd you get here? That song, that Deborah Cox song that I need to do again. You see, I did it 10 years ago. Then I did it 5 years ago. It used to be a regular cover of mine. I got to do that song publicly again and record it because, yeah, how did you get here? And why you didn't just come, just you, and just like, oh, let me rent some space in your head. Like a whole city. There's a whole city with a mayor and a governing body. Hold up, wait a minute. The city feels great. It feels great. But then, logic is like, okay, this is uncharted territory. Are you safe here? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel safe, but I don't know. it it feels it feels okay. It doesn't feel like, this person definitely is not, you know, doesn't seem like they want to do me any harm or anything, so, but it's like, okay, they don't want to do any harm, but are you safe to allow my thoughts to go in the direction they have went in? And I'm just like, I don't know. But it doesn't feel hard. It doesn't feel hard. It doesn't feel forced or pushed. It just feels like a uncharted natural expansion that's happening. And I kind of have to push myself to get past my classes because now I just want to go to work. I just want to go to work. I just want to go to work. Oh gosh. It's the most silliest thing ever. It's like I can't even it won't make no sense. It won't make no sense. You have to have been around me or like I'm pretty transparent. So if you look at the things that I've done, because I think the things I've created, for example, the cafe, maybe not per se, but that's only if you look at the cafe on a surface level. If you look at the cafe like, oh, it's just a cafe. No, the cafe was way more than a cafe because also I um, had a space in there with jewelry that I handmade, metaphysical jewelry. I had incense. I had crystals. Like it was more than just uh, nourishment for your physical body. It was nourishment for your spirit and nourishment for your soul. So that's who I am. And I don't always dress and look like that on the surface. A lot of times, um, the way that I dress looks less regular, but nonetheless, my aura and my essence is still my aura and my essence. So if you or anyone is doing their own personal spiritual practices and spiritual work, there's going to be a mutual recognition, where I don't have to be adorned, in order to still be who I am. I still am who I am. So I I switch up my attire. I switch up my physical attire. You know, um, and I sort of kind of blend in. Not really oracally, but uh, dress wise, yes. And today I was just on every day. It's every day. It's an everyday thing, and I'm just like, is this a mutual everyday thing, or am I? Is it just me? Because it's like wake up, boom, go to bed, boom, throughout the day, boom, 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 boom. Like, oh, you're not just renting space. You've built a whole city. What else are you building up in here, sir? Are you what can we have a conversation? Can we have a conversation? Because you should have heard me singing today. Why I find that song under new management. Oh my God, that right there, that right there, that right there, and it's interesting because the old management. First of all, the old management couldn't even get to build a city. The old management was literally just renting space, and I was like, you know, tempting. I was attempting to build something, and the old management was like, "Okay, you're gonna have to jump through this hula hoop. You're gonna have to go do this. You're gonna have to go do that. You're gonna have to do you know." And my ancestors was like, "What? Heck no, mm-mm. No, she not." And because of the the their mystical practices, I was just like, oh, this feels different. Um, you know, hey, I never had someone who could uh pick up on my inner me like that. So I thought it was legit. But that was like 10 years and it was not legit. And how I would know it was not, how I know now that it was not legit, because then obviously I didn't, was how the ancestors made it very difficult for me to even um, to do the things that I wanted to do. They made it very difficult and they kept showing me, and like literally, this person to this day owes me like $1,500. Like that's how, like, when I'm in, it's dangerous. It's dangerous for me because I can go so deep in and the other person's not there, and that, again, that was somebody who was utilizing their spiritual practices in a manipulative way, so because they were utilizing their spirituality, and they don't even probably call it spirituality, um, but I'm gonna call it that, just to keep it universal, because they were utilizing it in a manipulative way, and I was still fairly new to my awareness of even, and my consciousness of even these things being um in existence, you know what I mean? That, yeah, I was in. I was all the way locked in. I was like, you know, I'm a rider. I'm a rider. I got some metal in my body, so maybe I can't physically ride, but I'm a rider. I'm a rider. So literally every year, I show up to this daggone what do you call it, block party. Yeah, I'm here to support you. I'm here to support you. What's going on? What you doing? You doing something positive for the community? I'm here to support you. Oh man, fun times. That motherfucker was just like good energy. You could keep giving me that good energy, good high frequency. You could keep giving me that good energy, and I ain't gonna give you nothing, heifer. I'm gonna say hello, and that's it. I wait. I'm gonna pop up in your dreams, and now and then I'm gonna have a telepathic conversation with you, and that's about it. That's about it, shorty. That's all I got for you. That's all I got for you, cause you ain't even a part of the sister group to my brother group. You know what I'm saying? So according to the contract that I've already entered into. I can't even vibe with you all the way like that because you ain't down with them. And that's what I almost did last year, people. Last year, I was like, okay, like I felt the pull. I felt the pull last into April. It's been almost a whole year. I don't even know, like, they were going through something. They were going through something. A lot of people that they know was just crossing over, crossing over, crossing over, crossing over, crossing over, crossing over. And one person in particular crossed over, and it came to my attention. And it came to my attention so vividly, like I literally went to this person's funeral. And I was like such conflict within myself because it was like, oh wait, hold up. Even though I was still sort of attached. And mind you, there was never no physical, never no physical, like never. The whole 10 years, there was never no physical. I just told you, I just mentioned my friend that was my former colleague. I met them 3 years into that whole experience, and that person, there was physical, but that other person that was, I believe, was being purposefully manipulative. There was never nothing physical. Never nothing physical. But anyway, they were going through something, and me, being me, I got your back, I got your back. But what I realized is that even though I have that aspect of me, that vigilante aspect, that's what I call it, that vigilante aspect of me, that I had grown enough myself that I knew I had to make sure I was okay too. So I showed up, and I paid my respects, and then I exited. I was like, I'm not about to stay here for this whole thing. I gotta travel all the way back to New Jersey. I don't have no car right now. I need to get my ass home. And as soon as I went to leave, I didn't even see them there initially. As soon as I went to leave, they were coming in. And I was like, you okay? And they was like, mm-hmm. And I was like, all right. And I left, because I could see, like, I peeped the situation. First of all, they weren't there by themselves. Like, they had all these people, and yes, their birthday was the very next day. But I thought of me. I thought of me. I prioritized me. I took my ass home. And then the next day, it was just a lot. It was a lot of, it was a lot. So I said, let me go outside and let me sit in the park and let me put my feet on the ground and let me get grounded and let me just see what do I need to do. So, for what I wanted to be a reality and what came to me, what I needed to do for that was that I needed to go into that particular sisterhood, um, to the brotherhood that they are a part of. It was like there was no other way for it to happen. And I was like, okay. And I just literally picked up this device that I'm doing this recording on right now and looked up, sisterhoods and got connected. And then I went and visit. So those were travels. And on one of the visits, I even volunteered and cooked. And I like when I tell you I went out, I went out. I made lasagna and I traveled in a cab because I don't have a car, remember? I traveled in a cab from here all the way to Midwood, Brooklyn. Okay, and it was delicious. My son was there. He got to take home a pan and a half. They ate it, but the people, what I realized, seeing the people was like, these people, they I can't judge their hearts, but for what I did observe was that are these this is a question I asked myself. Are these people a reflection of my goals for me? And the answer was no. And again, it wasn't because of them being not good people. It was just that when I think of my goals for me, I want my my outside to reflect my inside. I think that's what happens anyway. Now some not all the time in every case, but for the most part, yes. So what that means is like my legs. Okay, I got this metal in my body, and there are some restrictions. Yes, I've had some, motor vehicle accidents, whatever. But the point is that I want to continue to heal the legs. It's a muscular situation. It's muscular where the muscles need to strengthen and the muscles need to lengthen. And, those are the things I need to do with my legs. And then, I have my own acne. I want the acne to go. I want, to the skin to be clear. Um, to be just physically more fit, you know and that's a process. It's a process. It's a process. And it's a journey. It's not like, okay, you go work out like working out. Nope, that's just a part of life. It's part of my lifestyle. And I realized that. I recognized that. And I have fallen off, get back up, fallen off, get back up, fallen off, get back up. Oh. But I realized that it's not oh, my legs are gonna get stronger, and then that's it. I'm gonna stop working out because I'm gonna have to maintain the strength. Once I actually get to the point, I'm gonna have to maintain the strength. So I'm grateful to be more mobile because that is helping to build the strength. And yes, I got to get back into a workout regimen, you know. So yeah, I am a work in progress. But again, when I looked at those individuals, even though I just didn't feel like, even though I made genuine connections, I just didn't feel like it was it was for where I'm going. It almost seemed like it might have been for where I was right then and there, but not for where I was going. And so I started thinking more of where I'm going. And even though they invited me and I even gave some not a lot. I did an application fee and paid the application fee. Um, and supported what was going on in regards to their fundraisers, I still decided this is not this is not for me. And so when I made that decision that this is not for me, um, it was like it was a slow. it was a slow release from that individual who I believe was being manipulative with their spirituality. It was like, I got the answer of what I needed to do to make that work. Um, but because I decided not to do that, now that's not going to be. But just because that did not be doesn't mean that I don't have what I desire to have for me. Like, we're in this vast universe. There are so many opportunities, endless. We're in an endless, limitless space. So it's like, okay. And I wasn't even interested, like, oh, well, let me look for the alternative. Like, that wasn't even on my mind. It was like, let me continue working on me. And that's what I did. So that was last May. And I guess I made that decision after I went into finance for a very short period of time. Um, like, oh, heck no. Uh, so I want to say June, June of last year. I was like, I asked the question again, but this time it wasn't, what do I need to do to make this work? The question was different. It was like, what do I need to do for me? Where's the best space and place for me to be right now? And of course, I got an answer. You ask the right questions, you will get answers. So I got the answer, and the answer was like, return to school. And I was like, oh, okay, So initially, I was looking at schools in New York City, and I have to get out of my comfort zone. I went to the campus. Campus had a gym that got a pool in it and everything. I was like, oh. And then when I went to go do the application, it was like complexity of complexities. And I was just like, what? And then it was an application fee. And I was just like, but I pushed. Stubborn. You see it? Stubborn me was like, I'm gonna push through it. I don't got the application money, but there must be a waiver. Oh yeah, there's a waiver. Okay, I'm gonna go through that process. Like, I had started all of that, put in my financial aid paperwork, everything, and then Spirit was like, there's a place right here, literally like less like a mile away, right there. So I was like, initially when I went there, interesting. I went in there for I went in there, no lie. I went in there for prospects. I went in there for business prospects for because I was with a company at the time, very short time. So I was with New York Life. I got my license. I was working on my Series 6 and I believe my Series 63. And I went in there for prospects. And when I went in there for prospects, a lady caught me at the door. Boom. And she was like, oh, you coming to apply? And she took me into this room, and the application process was like one, two, three. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just applied over here in New York City. What school did I apply to? What school? It was a CUNY school. I know it was a CUNY school. Oh my God, which one was it? It's the one that's not too far from One World Trade Center. Like, I could walk from there. Was it Manhattan College? I can't even think of the name of it. That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't remember the name of it. But I had literally had just applied like maybe 2 weeks, sat in a library, everything, like was really feeling the campus, so to speak, feeling the area. Like, okay, this is it. This is where I'm gonna begin to continue my education at. Again, I didn't go there first, but I was like, this is where I'm gonna do it. I had started to continue my education previously, but mother duties took over that. Um, and lifing took over that, and wife duties for the time that I was married, like all of that. So anyway, I was just like, it was so easy. It was so easy that I was just like, hold up. I don't gotta get no waiver. Hold up. Ain't no application fee. Hold. the application done and I got a student ID. I was just like, hold up. So I did my consultation, my spiritual consultations, not with a practitioner, just straight to source. And I was like, is this where I'm supposed to be? And it was just like, yep, this is where you're supposed to be. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm gonna leave the financial world alone and I'm gonna focus now on something, on one of my gifts. Okay, music. All right, here I am, and that's how I got there. So now I'm there. And initially, there was issues because my previous college that closed down, um, and so initially they was like financial aid's not gonna cover you, and I'm like, I know I qualify. They were like, that's the rules, though. That's the rules. And I was like, hold up, let's get my official transcript. Because, first of all, those Russians, it was a whole bunch of Russians, which made me skeptical in the first place. But I was like, hey, I say it's accredited. It's accredited. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is an actual campus. I went to the Manhattan campus, I went to the Brooklyn campus. So it wasn't like it was just, inside of a building, just like an office inside of a commercial building. Like they had whole buildings, But I was uncomfortable. And again, I don't got nothing against nobody, but I was uncomfortable with the fact that they was Russian because a lot of the people there didn't, not the teachers, but the administration there didn't speak English. And then next thing I know, the motherfuckers was shut down. Like they were gone. And I was just like, how the fuck a whole college just disappear like that? Like what the hold up. Are these credits good? Are these credits what's going on? What's going on? What's going on here? So I found out that even though they don't exist, for when they did exist, they were legit. So what the lady gave me was not the same thing as they had on the state record. What the state record provided for me was an official transcript because it said official transcript. The lady provided me an unofficial transcript. I was using an unofficial transcript because I thought, she gave it to me. She worked there. I was good. Nah. So anyway, I had to get through that. I got through that. My financial aid kicked in. I'm in school. I'm studying. I'm busting these classes out, and as I'm busting these classes out, the school just seemed to be, and still does, still very much does, seem to be just exactly the right thing for me and my family right now. And my family is my son. So my son is there. I'm there. I have met some amazing, amazing, amazing people and souls, and I bounced around a bit looking for a club that I fit into, because I had several interests. So of course, the first club I looked at was music. So I went to the music club, and the vibe was like, mm-mm. Because I felt literally everything. Like I felt all the vibrations. I don't know what they do down there in that basement besides make good music, but all I know is that I picked up all different types of vibrations, and I was just like, yeah, negative. I'm not about to force. Like I'm past the part. I don't mind uh working. I don't mind working. But I just am at the point in my life where my work must be enjoyable. Like I must love my work. I don't feel the need to force anything. So when I feel like opposition that's too much, I'm like, shh, I'm out. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's how that my interaction with that particular club went. Left that club. Boom. Now, I I found another club, and I'm like, oh, okay, this club is nice. I like it. It's peaceful. It's cool. Everything good. But then I don't know. It wasn't. It was like under construction, so to speak. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know how to construct, know what you call it. I'm like, hey, let me see what else is out here. So then I looked to the drama club, and the drama club was beautiful. The person who runs it operates a beautiful sister, and I was like, ooh. But then I remember the first day I went to the drama club. I wasn't trying to be slick. I promise you, I wasn't. I just was minding my business. And I went over there the first day. And who is over there? Why are you over there? Oh man, that first semester was very interesting. But this one, I'm just like, what is the third semester going to look like? Because what is going on? People be telling me stuff like, oh, you look so happy. Oh, you feel so much lighter. I have people in the community tell me that. This lovely young lady who owns a yoga studio that I've peeped in, and she's like, "Oh, you feel so much lighter. You feel so much happier." I had a brother who just met me January who told me, "Oh, you look so much happier." And the fact is, I am fucking happier. I'm fucking ecstatic. But I be trying to figure out why. Like, I know the answer why, but why? Like, and is this a mutual thing? Are you this ecstatic too? And it's like, from what I see, yep. This other individual just as ecstatic as I am, and I'm just like, okay, what's happening? What's going on? What in the entire what's going on? 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 Because from my perception, you look kind of familiar. Do I know you? Do we know each other? You feel familiar, and I just be, oh, you feel so fucking familiar. And I was out. When I tell you I was out, I was out. I was like, I'm gonna just make my own space and way, and my own space and way is right, right. What? What's happening? I don't know what's happening. I don't even know. I don't even know. But I know I caught an attitude today. Oh yeah, I do know that. I did catch an attitude today. But I feel okay about it. I feel that my logic didn't go too far because my logic was like, girl, what you mad about? What you girl? You better call your friend. What girl? What you doing? You just look at Nikki. I guess I started